Back here on CBS Sports HQ, and have a look. It's our CBSSports.com college football quarterback rankings. Trinidad Chambliss, #1 for the Ole Miss Rebels. Diego Pavia rising to #4. We're going to get a couple of matchups between some top quarterbacks over the next couple of weeks. We've got Vanderbilt, Alabama this weekend, so Pavia against Simpson. We also have Fernando Mendoza against Dante Moore next week as Indiana goes to Oregon. So those are the rankings on CBSSports.com. But we have our own quarterback who's dressed for Halloween already. Is that a Run DMC outfit there? You just need a chain.
This is very trendy. Yeah. I do have a chain. Should I wear it outside?
No, you look good, Danny.
Okay,
you look good.
Just making sure.
You're just making me look like a suit. I got to sit up straight. I'm just a suit guy here. Let's get your rankings, Danny. And I will say a little hint. Danny's #1 is not even in the top 5 on,
That's egregious
on
too.
CBS Sports.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a second. But, Danny, here we go. C.J. Carr at #10 for Notre Dame. And then it's Julian Sayin of Ohio State. And that's where we're going to zero in on right now. Buckeyes are #1 in the country. Really efficient in his first big road setting last week at Washington. What kind of questions has he answered in his first 4 games?
So here's the scary thing about the Buckeyes. I still think they're operating with training wheels on Julian Sayin. They're just taking baby steps forward, and yet while he's doing that, he's completing almost 79% of his passes, which is #1 in the country, which is pretty insane considering this is his first year starting on the big stage with all the pressure that is on you as Ohio State's quarterback. I also think this has something to do with the way teams are defending Ohio State. They're all playing back and saying, all right, we are not going to let Jeremiah Smith and Kannell Tate and those big playmakers on the outside beat us. So Julian Sayin is doing exactly what the offense dictates. He's checking the ball down, taking those safe throws, and most importantly, not turning the football over. And he's producing in the red zone, which is where it matters the most.
Do you think he's playing at a level right now that's good enough for Ohio State to win another championship?
Boy, I don't think so. I mean, the way their defense is playing, their defense through 4 games is actually better than their defense was playing last year through 4 games, and that was a defense that obviously won a national championship. At some point, though, you're going to cross a team that's going to be able to either, catch you with some plays that kind of catch you by surprise, maybe they're fluky, or you run into a really good offense that just happens to put up points. It probably doesn't happen until a Big Ten championship game against a team maybe like Oregon, or in the playoffs versus some of the other teams out there that have more firepower on the offensive side of the ball. So eventually, yes, I think Julian will have to step up. That's still a question mark for me now, but the way they're kind of pacing and keeping on track, he'll be more than ready for that when that opportunity comes.
3 ranked teams on their remaining schedule: at #22 Illinois, home against #7 Penn State, and then, of course, finishing at #20 Michigan. These are Danny Kannell's power rankings. Let's go to the #1 ranked quarterback at CBSSports.com. He is your #6. It's Ole Miss revelation Trinidad Chambliss, and he's only in because of an injury to Austin Simmons. Do you think that he needs to stay out there if he keeps playing like this?
Without question. I think Lane Kiffin is being Lane Kiffin by still kind of alluding that Austin Simmons is going to be ready and available to play, and they're still kind of playing a little bit with the injury report, saying he's got the ankle issue. When Austin Simmons was out there, this isn't like this was an established starter that had started all of last season. He had only started a handful of games, and in those games had 4 interceptions and was not good with the football. That is priority 1 for a quarterback. So I think some of this has to do with managing a young quarterback who they've invested a lot of money in with Austin Simmons, trying to keep him happy. But this is a no-brainer for Lane Kiffin. Trinidad Chambliss is your starting quarterback. And by the way, he might be one of the best in the SEC. I have one slightly above him, but every time he's gone out there as a starter, he's thrown for 300 yards. He's been able to close out games like he did against LSU. And by the way, he can run the ball pretty effectively with his legs. It is a no-brainer who Ole Miss's quarterback is.
Bye week this week, and then it's a game against Washington State before a 2-week stretch. This is as tough as anybody's in the country, at Georgia and at Oklahoma to end the month of October. Let's jump into Danny Kannell's top 5 of his quarterback power rankings, and that's where we find at #2, guy with 2 letters in his first name, Simpson, 13 total touchdowns 0 picks. Has he proven he can not just be a game manager, but a difference maker?
Yes, unequivocally yes. And I know after the Florida State game, a lot of Alabama fans wanted to run him off. They wanted to run Kalen DeBoer off. But that game really wasn't his fault. He didn't make the colossal mistake. He just didn't make many plays, and there wasn't that many plays to be made as they were getting pushed around up front. But since that game, he has been close to perfect playing quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and really it was on full display on a national stage in one of the toughest environments in college football in Athens against one of the better defensive minds in Kirby Smart. And what did he do? He sat back there all night long, very comfortably in the pocket, was ripping the ball downfield, didn't have those turnovers that mattered, and had a couple nice touchdown passes. He has looked so comfortable and poised and operating in Kalen DeBoer's system. It has blown me away. And I love the story. 2 things about him. 1, he could have transferred, never did, stuck it out, took the long road. And 2, bouncing back after adversity. Every quarterback at some point in your career is going to get booed. You're going to get questioned. That happened after Florida State. Since then, he stood up in the face of adversity, looked it right in the eye, stared it down, and overcome it. I don't think there's any question Ty Simpson can take this team to an SEC championship and potentially a deep playoff run.
Your rankings mirror the Heisman odds right now, because you saw the Heisman favorite, Dante Moore at Oregon, going into the whiteout last week as a sophomore, and those kind of stats and that performance and those kind of big throws at crunch time earned him the #1 spot.
He's been sensational, and it's funny because there were so many quarterbacks this offseason that had much more fanfare. You had guys like DJ Lagway, Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers, guys were projected to be top 10 picks, while Dante Moore kind of was flying under the radar. And while he's not a true first-year starter because he started as a true freshman at UCLA, I thought the year off behind Dylan Gabriel did wonders for his career. He was able to kind of catch his breath, go to work, become a student of the game, watch a true professional like Dylan Gabriel, and then he's been much more comfortable and confident. There were a lot of question marks. What was he going to do in his first road start? How was he going to be rattled by 110,000 fans? He looked in complete control all night long. And the thing that really impressed me is just the arm talent just jumps off the TV screen. When you watch it, the arm effort, effortless motion, but also the ability to stay calm and collected inside the pocket, dipping down arm angles, getting out of pressure, getting the ball out of his hands. He doesn't take many sacks. This is a playmaker at the position. I know our Mike Renner likes Fernando Mendoza to go 1-1 in the NFL draft. If I was betting on somebody, I'd bet it's Dante Moore if he does come out.
You think Dante Moore, who can come out this year?
Yeah, he could come out this year.
You think he could go #1 overall?
Absolutely. If he keeps playing the way he has now, he also probably could make $10 million at Oregon if he decides to come back, which selfishly as a college football fan, I would love to see. But I think it remains to be seen how the season unfolds. But he will be body type, arm talent, mobility. He's got the skills that NFL scouts are going to be salivating over.
Listed at 6'3", #1 ranked quarterback according to Danny Kannell, Dante Moore, who might be the #1 draft prospect as well. Want to get to somebody who's not on your rankings, and nowhere to be found on the CBS Sports rankings either, which go all the way to 50.
Yeah.
Drew Allar.
Yeah.
Not in the top 50 right now. Another opportunity, another game where not only Penn State falls short, but he falls short in a big situation. Where would you put him right now?
Unfortunately, Drew Allar just kind of is what he is, and he's a game manager who is not able to elevate his play when it's on the biggest stage, and that's kind of been the theme of his entire career, where against lesser competition, he amasses really good numbers, he takes care with the football. I would actually like to see them open it up against UCLA this weekend and say, you know what, Drew, go out there and cut it loose. I don't care if you throw 3 touchdown passes or 3 interceptions. We just want to see you stretch the ball vertically down the field. He plays it a little bit safe. And what we see when their backs were against the wall and they opened up the offense, maybe one of the best throws of his career with the touchdown pass to Ross there on the outside. That was a gorgeous throw. He's got the ability to do it. At this point, I think it's mental, and I think they've got to just open it up, build as much confidence as they can in him. I'm still not giving up on Drew Allar, but I did hope he was going to take a big step forward. There's still some season left there, but at this point, I think the power rankings and sort of any sort of quarterback evaluation, you look at it and say he is what he is, which is an uber-talented quarterback who is a really good game manager. He's just not much of a difference maker.
All right, well, he'll get more opportunities here this season, not just the regular season, but likely still a playoff team as well. That's Danny Kannell with his quarterback rankings this week on CBS Sports HQ. And we will see Drew Allar Saturday on CBS as #7 Penn State goes into the Rose Bowl to face a UCLA team that fired their head coach a few weeks ago and is a 3-touchdown underdog at home. 3:30 Eastern Time on CBS and Paramount Plus.